guys, hope all is well. Welcome and welcome back. I hope you guys are doing good in this energy because it is changing. Things are changing. Oh, but first, I actually have another email address that's going to be listed below. Now, my Gmail address, that's using it as a secondary because it's too much hacking and I had too many issues with that. So if you have emailed me and I didn't respond, I didn't get it, and I had some that were there. I end up having emails missing, so I have another email address down. I created another one, and the Gmail is just for secondary because not next week, but the week after that, I'm gonna open back up my intuitive and metaphysical phone consultations. But also probably be doing like quick questions, like especially with all the changes that's coming up. It's crazy. Plus I could feel something big is coming up. So like for the one questions, like quick questions, I do those also. So just email me. But on this video, what I wanted to talk about is the link between karmic mothers and addictions and unhealthy relationships. Because now any little thing that's down in those lower chakras need to be released. And some things are real tricky. We don't realize they're there, but even just simple conscious awareness on it when you're cleaning that chakra could, hook you right on up. And this is when I say addictions, I'm not just talking about drugs or alcohol. That could be food, unhealthy habits. That could be like an old, outdated thought process, like a negative thought pattern. Because when you come up in a karmic household, a lot of times you have, it's kind of norm, your ego mind kind of just reverts back to that because that's part of the programming in the subconscious mind when you come up in a household that is like karmic. Now this is just for karmic mothers and karmic parental figures, so it could be a father, grandparents, whoever. It's the karmic family. But with when you have karmic mother, karmic parental figures, off top, your root chakra is going to be affected. That is your foundation, that's family, that's your protection, that's your security. When you come up in a karmic household, you don't have that. Now, when we have a lack of energy flow in one chakra, what that chakra does is to compensate for that lack of flow. It's going to pull from the chakra right above it. So that pulls on the sacral. So that throws that off in balance. And addictions are ruled by the sacral chakra. And not only that, it's just one thing that has been normalized so much to where karmic parental figures almost have a sense of entitlement to project their unhood childhood wounds onto you is the guilt trip. I wish this is something that should have never been normalized, because basically if you eat dinner, if you had clean clothes on, you're not supposed to say anything, you're supposed to take anything. And this has just been normalized to where it's normal now. But to be honest, you didn't lay up and get pregnant and give birth to yourself. So by it being so normalized, that is, I don't want to use the word narcissist because it's so much, but a lot of these karmic parental figures are narcissists. They feel entitled to do that, like you owe them, simply because you were born. Now that guilt, what that does is that blocks the sacral chakra even more than it already was. So that puts more blocks onto it. When you have all those blocks right there, and then that even rules certain things like your bladder, urinary tract, things like that. So that could cause like other problems in other areas. It's a lot of things they cause. But just that guilt tripping alone, that puts blockages in your sacral chakra. And of course, that's pulling on the solar plexus. A lot of these, especially with the women, oh my goodness. The karmic mothers, a lot of times, they are competing with their daughters. You can't compete with your daughter, baby, let it go. But they are competing with their daughters. A lot of times they do things to make them feel uncomfortable. Back to the sacral. If you have a karmic mother, karmic parental figure, when they put all that guilt onto you, a lot of times, see, your creativity is your sacral as well. A lot of times, everything karmic parental figures have was manifested off of your sacral energy. They get throwing that guilt, throwing the comments, the little gaslighting, lower your frequency. That is how they create their life, off of your sacral chakra. But anyway, that pulls on the solar plexus. And like I said, this is what rules addictions. Like for me, it was definitely alcohol. And I started really young too. I was probably maybe like 13 or 14 when I started drinking, because after my second unalive attempt, I needed something, I guess, to just kind of numb it out. That was my form of escapism, which that's basically what it's trying to find, like a form of escapism. So that is what I use, because my gosh, my so-called mother is like literally the most demonic person I've ever personally encountered. And she is obsessed with it. Like none, I'm talking about all day, every day. Putting out evil, putting out evil, putting out evil. Late 70s, but that's all she does. Obsessed with destroying and sacrificing me. Sad. But anyway, what that does is it's real easy to fall into addictions, whether it be food, thoughts, anything. So if you've ever had any problems like that in the past, because with so many things shifting and coming up, and especially if you still deal with some family now, because what I have learned, trying to be cordial with family members that are still cordial with a karmic parental figure does not work. They are spies. They are watching you and paying attention to everything you do. So if you had dealt with any type of, even just a guilt trip, you always got, deal with the gaslighting. I did this, I did that, I did that. If you were always guilt tripped, even doing chakra cleanses with the intent, with that conscious awareness, that you can cleanse that out. Just that conscious awareness is anything. But I would, if you had karmic parents, I would definitely do some extra on the sacral. Because honestly, karmic families, those, your bottom two chakras, they really do an extreme amount of damage to your lower chakras. And that leads you to unhealthy relationships, because you're not getting the love and support at home. So when you get older, you're looking for that from other people. Problem is, you have blockages in your lower chakras. So the type of relationship that people want, they're not energetically aligned to get. So then you end up attracting someone who has blockages in the same chakras, lower ones. And you have your power struggles. Number one, somebody's going to be competing with the other. In the most nasty form I saw, where men compete with women. Sometimes women compete with men, but it's like someone has to outdo the other one. It's a constant power play. You know, you have your good moments, but it's always that clash. So you can have a good heart and like, why do I keep attracting these, bad relationships? Well, it can very well be, because that's definitely how it was with me. And I didn't realize that until I got older. I went into introspection and I was like, what is it? I mean, I know karmic relationships, they do serve a purpose because they do teach you all the necessary lessons. And they also show you, mirror back to you what needs to be repaired and fixed and healed in yourself. But that causes a problem right there. So now you have all these meaningless relationships. So, like I said, it's a nasty number that they do on those lower chakras. If you are doing the healing work and you have family trying to reach out to you now, because this is going on a lot with people, and unfortunately still, like with people that they known for a long time, family, and that they grew up with. If people aren't doing the work, they don't want to see you do the work, because once you start healing, it shifts your energy. So now these people, as soon as they come around you or they see you, they're irritated because you're no longer an energetic match. You're vibrating higher than them. So now you're like a mirror showing them back what they need to fix, but they're not trying to fix it. They're just going to attack you. So please be careful with people coming back. If it's someone who already hurt you, you don't need the apology. It's forgiven. Let it go, because right now, especially, it's some stuff coming up with the weather. I know we see with the tornadoes, but I know for my hometown, I saw a really bad flood. I might just do a little quick separate one on that, because I think I've been guided to do that. But there are going to be a lot of floods, because the people who vibrated low frequency with all these changes that's coming in and the energy that's hitting the planet right now, the vibration is going up on the earth. So the people that can't match the frequency of the planet is constantly putting out negative energy. They're going to be removed. They are going to be removed. So just be really careful. Don't let anyone gaslight you. Don't even feel bad for anything, because I know this is crazy. Now this is a tad bit sensitive. Let me show you how low down karmic families are right now. We're trying to get energy. Now this was a while back. This is when I was still answering the phone for my so-called mom. I had already pulled away from her. Didn't want to be bothered with her, but this was several years ago, so I would still answer the phone. And I never forget, one day she called, and I was like, I do not feel like talking to her. So you know how, like, if you know somebody messy, you don't really want to talk to them, and they know you don't want to talk, so they want to say something real messed up, so they'll talk real fast. She called me. It told me one of my cousins, he was actually older than me. She called me to tell me that my cousin had just been murdered in his house in the front yard. And I was like, oh man, that's messed up. And she was so excited. Now he got shot in the head. The way she gave details about his condition after, and his mom was home. You know, she was older because he's older than me. I'm in my late 40s. And he's a good bit older than me. So his mom was older. She was home and she was outside, so she saw her son like that. And I was listening to her talk, and she was genuinely excited, like it made her happy. I'm like, this is your nephew. And she was just like, oh, and now, you know, she's traumatized and she can't get the image out of her head. And then immediately, within the second, she started talking bad about the guy. I know this is what the purpose of the call was. She started talking bad about the guy. Now, he had also had, you know, problems with alcohol, just like I did. And I'm not sure if he did any hard drugs, but she considers weed a drug. I don't, but she considered weed a drug. Now, at the time I was smoking, I don't smoke now, but I used to smoke a lot. And she just started talking bad about him, basically saying that because of how he lived his lifestyle, basically, that he deserved to be murdered. I was like, okay, that's why she called. That's why she was acting so wicked. The energy was just nasty at that point. And she was talking, ran through everything so fast. The conversation only lasted probably 5 minutes. So basically what she called to do, besides disrespect her nephew, was to tell me if I got murdered, if I got deleted, that I deserved it because I had addictions that I picked up from trying to escape from what she was doing. Like I said, it took a long time for me to realize how bad my family was, and I was like, these people are complete soulless beings. They are, and they know she was talking like that, they probably would beat the bricks off of them. But that's why it's important. Don't let anybody weasel their way back in. Because a lot of people that's weaseling their way back in, they're trying to bind themselves to you. They need your energy bad, because with the energy, the frequency on this planet right now, they can't function. That is going to tear apart their minds and tear apart their bodies. That's why you're probably going to see people start shape-shifting around here, because in higher frequencies, their physical vessel, especially the ones that's completely taken over, you're going to see that difference, because their physical vessel is not going to be able to hold together. But what's about to happen is a lot of people are about to get removed. So just make sure you do the healing. Leave these people alone. I do know in places where it's just a lot of misuse of energy, you can definitely expect some shocking weather. And it's going to be kind of, in a way, obvious when it happens that the cleanup is happening, because it's already started. So just make sure you're doing your work, and especially if you're going into a union, because those are going to be coming together before the year is up, most of those, because these unions, they are meant to do something together. They have joint purposes. They have things they have to do together. So just make sure any old junk is cleared out, but the mind is if you set that, go back in and clear those chakras with those intentions. But I always say mind, body, spirit, they all work together. So don't forget the sound healing. That's a good one, especially with meditative mind, because I know they have some sacral chakra exercises. Now I like the ones where you get the healing frequencies for that chakra, but I like the ones that have the chakra mantras, because each chakra has a seed sound. So you have the right frequency, and on top of that, you'll have the chakra seed sound in the background, and that directs more energy to it. And I think they have like 9 and 10 hour videos, and you can listen to that while you sleep. Set the intention before you go to bed. Listen to that while you sleep, and your subconscious mind hears it. That's the only part that really needs to hear it. And I would definitely do EFT. Is always good, because that really get that energy out of your central nervous system. So that always helps. So just make sure you're not leaving anything behind, because these changes are going to start coming in, and they're going to come in fast. You have to make sure you have everything under their heart and everything under it free and clear. So, is that it for this one? I think so. If it's not, then I'll put it in the comments. But like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next.